Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, watching a tempest rage against the rocks. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling, but you are standing firmly on the ground. You are watching the storm, but you are not in the water. This is the mind of a Stoic. In our modern world, the tempest is our own internal dialogue, the worry about the future, the regret of the past, and the comparison to others. These are the toxic thoughts that erode our peace and steal our focus. But what if you could watch that storm from the shore? What if you could clear your mind entirely and reclaim your ability to focus? In this video, we are diving into Stoicism to uncover the practical steps you can take to purge your mind of toxicity and become a fortress of focus. Toxic thoughts are cognitive distortions, the intrusive what-ifs, the paralyzing I can'ts, and the destructive should-haves. The Stoics called this the ruling center being corrupted. Your ruling center is your reason, your will, and your judgment. When it is flooded with toxic thoughts, it cannot operate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The first step is realizing that the thought is not the reality. It is just an impression, a wave, and you do not have to drown in it. The most powerful tool for clearing toxic thoughts is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus stated, "Some things are in our control and others not." 99% of your toxic thoughts come from trying to control things outside your power. What people think of you, the stock market, someone cutting you off in traffic. You cannot control the actions of others, the economy, the weather, or the past, but you can control your judgments, your impulses, and your discipline. When a toxic thought arises, ask yourself, is this about something I can control or something I cannot? If it is something you cannot control, train your mind to see it as indifferent. It is not good or bad. It is just an event. The only thing that is good is your virtue and your reason. The only thing that is bad is a corrupt ruling center. When you internalize this, the storm instantly calms. The Stoics were masters of mindfulness. They called it prosoche, the attention of the mind. It is the constant, vigilant awareness of your own thoughts. Most people react instinctively to every impulse. A thought appears, and they follow it down a rabbit hole of anxiety. To clear your mind, you must act as a gatekeeper. Inspect every thought before it enters the inner citadel. Imagine your mind as a fortress. A toxic thought knocks on the gate. Instead of opening the gate, you climb the tower and observe it. You say, "I see you. You are a fear about a speech I have to give tomorrow." By naming it, you objectify it. You strip it of its power. You stop being the thought and become the observer of it. This is the exercise of negative visualization turned inward. You are not suppressing the thought. You are simply looking at it. And when you look at a storm from the shore, you realize it cannot touch you. To clear the mind, you must excrete the toxins. The Stoics practiced a form of cognitive behavioral therapy. They journaled. Seneca said, "We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted?" You need to get the thoughts out of your head and onto paper. When a thought is stuck in your mind, it echoes and amplifies. When you write it down, it becomes finite. Write down the thoughts bothering you. I am afraid I will fail. I am angry at my colleague. Then write a rebuttal. Apply Stoic logic. I am afraid I will fail. But failure is an external. I control my effort, not the outcome. This process releases the poison and clears the fog. Toxic thoughts often arise from a rejection of reality. We wish we were richer, smarter, or more popular. This resistance creates friction and burns us out. The Stoic antidote is amor fati, the love of fate, a radical embrace of whatever happens. When you love your fate, you stop judging events. Sitting in traffic becomes an opportunity to practice patience. Losing a job becomes an opportunity to find a better path. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The toxic thought is the obstacle. By accepting it, you change your perspective. You stop fighting the universe and start working with it. This flow state is where focus lives. There is one element the Stoics understood that modern productivity culture often overlooks: the body. Epictetus reminded his students that we are not just minds floating in air. We are embodied creatures. When the mind is in chaos, the body holds the cure. Controlled, deliberate breathing signals to your nervous system that the threat has passed. When a toxic thought surges, take a slow breath in for 4 counts, hold for 4, and release for 4. This is not mysticism. This is physiology. The simple act of slow exhalation activates the parasympathetic nervous system, quieting the fight-or-flight response that toxic thoughts trigger. The Stoics would walk as they philosophized. Zeno himself taught at the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch, a place of movement. Movement breaks the spell. When the spiral begins, stand up. Walk. Let the rhythm of your body interrupt the rhythm of your rumination. This is not escapism. It is a deliberate act of returning to the present, using the body as an anchor to pull the mind back to shore. Now let's talk about the daily discipline of focus. First, the power of the pause. Before you react, pause. That pause is the gap between the impression and the reaction. In that gap lies your freedom. When triggered, breathe. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace of mind? Usually the answer is no. Second, define your values. The Stoics believed the highest good is virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. When you judge every action by these pillars, toxic thoughts about status become irrelevant. Third, focus on the present moment. Seneca said, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." Toxic thoughts are time-traveling thoughts. They drag you into the past or throw you into the future. Bring yourself back to the now. Focus on the task at hand, the breath you are taking now, the step you are taking now. When you anchor yourself in the present, the past cannot hurt you and the future cannot terrify you. One of the most underused Stoic tools is the evening review, and it belongs in your daily routine. Before sleep, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Not to scroll, not to plan, but to review. Ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I lose my focus today? Where did I give power to something outside my control? And where did I act with virtue, even imperfectly? This is not self-punishment. It is honest accounting. Seneca compared it to a magistrate examining the events of the day in court, not to condemn, but to understand and correct. When you make this a nightly habit, something remarkable happens. The toxic patterns that once felt random begin to reveal themselves. You start to notice triggers. You start to catch the thought a second sooner. You start to pause where you once erupted. Over weeks, the inner citadel grows stronger, not because you forced it, but because you watched yourself honestly. The evening review is not a discipline of guilt. It is a discipline of growth. This is not easy. This is a practice. You will fail. You will get angry. That is part of being human. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. When you have a toxic thought, don't beat yourself up. Observe it, analyze it, accept it, then act. The Stoic gets knocked down but immediately gets back up. Focus is like a muscle. Every time you wrestle your mind away from a toxic thought, you are building the inner citadel brick by brick. Marcus Aurelius also gave us the view from above. Look down at the earth from above. See the vastness of the cosmos. See the billions of people with their own worries. In the grand scale, your problems are microscopic. The insult someone gave you is a speck. The meeting you are nervous about is a dust mote. This perspective clears away pettiness and allows you to focus on what is truly significant: your character, your contribution, and your reason. So, how do you clear your mind and stay focused? By practicing the dichotomy of control. By observing your thoughts from the inner citadel. By writing down your fears and dissecting them. By embracing amor fati. By anchoring yourself in your body when the mind spirals. By pausing before you react. By anchoring yourself in the present moment. And by reviewing your day each evening with honest, compassionate eyes. These are not just philosophical ideas. They are survival tools. You have the power to clear your mind. It is already there, waiting for you. Beneath the noise, beneath the anxiety, there is a calm, rational, and focused human being. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The tempest will always rage, but you do not have to be in the water. Practice these principles, train your ruling center, and watch as the storm passes you by. Stay focused, stay stoic.